Hello learners, this is Excel with Habiba. Welcome back to my channel. I have started the new series that is Classroom Implications of Educational Psychology. Under this, I'm going to cover three topics, that is individual differences, learning and personality. Today I'm going to discuss about individual differences. Under that, I'm going to cover the topics inter and intra-individual differences, meaning and nature, and theories of intelligence with special emphasis to multiple intelligence, IQ, assessment of intelligence, EQ, and creativity. Let's start with inter and intra-individual differences, meaning, nature. Before that, let's understand first of all the definition of individual differences given by Good CV. That is, variation or deviation among individual is regard to a single characteristics or a number of characteristics, those differences which in their totality distinguish one individual from another. That is in the psychology of individual differences, that is largely the study of group differences. That means this study classifies individuals by age, trade, sex, race, social class, and so on, and observes the differences within the groups or between the groups. Physical, mental, social, and cultural differences, etc., are being studied under individual differences. Perhaps the first task of every teacher in a class should be to know and study individual differences among his pupils. Individual differences in bodily appearance and physique, habits and skills, interests and temperaments, abilities and attainments have already been recognized. Now, according to Skinner, today we think of individual differences as including any measurable aspect of the total personality. That means it is clear from this definition of individual differences that it comprehends every aspect of human personality which is in some manner measurable. We can measure those differences. Now, types of individual differences, that is, they play a very important role, the most dominating role in the development of the child. It is of utmost importance to study the nature, causes and significance of individual differences. Now let's understand inter and intra individual differences with examples. Before that, let's understand what is inter individual differences, that is, variations exist between different individuals. Intra means variations exist within an individual over a period of time, that is time period. Individual differences are the extent or kind of variation that exists between the individual in various psychological, physical and behavioral characteristics. For example, consider two individuals A and B. A may possess high levels of extraversion, creativity and logical thinking abilities. On the other hand, B may possess high levels of introversion and analytical thinking. So, inter and intra-individual differences, mainly there are two types of individual differences as we discussed, that is inter and intra. Inter and intra-individual differences refer to variation that exists between different individuals or within an individual over time. These differences occur due to the interaction of genetic and environmental factors. The differences in the psychological characteristics are often consistent and form a stable pattern. This consistency and stability in behavior are unique to every person. Now, inter-individual differences are the variations or distinctions that exist between different individuals or groups of individuals. That is, example, differences among persons in their attitude, interest, learning, etc. Now, these differences can be across a wide range of attributes including personality traits, physical traits, cognitive abilities and socio-cultural backgrounds. Now, examples of inter-individual differences, that is, individuals may have different levels of intelligence, creativity, logical thinking and problem solving abilities. Now, Individuals may vary in height, weight, color, and other physical traits. Now, different individuals follow different cultures, and each culture has its own values and belief system. Now, under these types of individual differences, second one is intra-individual differences, that is, differences among various characteristics possessed by the same personnel. It reflects the strengths and weaknesses of an individual. Different abilities are present in different quantities within the same person. Example, a person may be good at drawing but not at singing. Now, for example, related to intra, some individuals are good in academics while others in sports. A student may perform well in one subject but struggle in another. An individual may have different hobbies at different stages of life. An individual may experience changes in their mood throughout the day. So, intra-individual differences are the variations or distinctions that exist within an individual over time periods. In other words, individual may exhibit changes in their behaviors, attitudes, or performance over time depending on the situation. Now, theories of intelligence. Now, let's discuss one by one. Before that, let's understand once again the definition of intelligence here. Intelligence is a hypothetical construct which refers to a higher level of abstract thought process, that is, intelligence has always been a topic of discussion among social scientists and philosophers. Under these theories of intelligence, what are the questions they arise? Number one, is intelligence a single general ability, or is it a cluster of different mental abilities? To find out these types of questions. Now, do current IQ, intelligent quotient, tests measure it, or should it be more broadly defined? These theories of intelligence are given by different people, that is Charles Spearman theory of intelligence, that is known as the two-factor theory, that is G factor. Spearman noticed that children who perform well in one subject tend to have good marks in other subjects also. This observation led him to propose that there is a common factor which affect all of our activities. Using statistical method called as factor analysis, he proposed that all cognitive activity or mental activity consists of two factors, namely general or G factor and specific or S factor. Next one is given by Thurston, that is Louis Thurston, that is intelligence as a person's pattern or mental abilities, suggesting that there is no G factor. Instead, intelligence consists of a group of primary mental abilities, that is PMA. There are basically 7 PMA and all are independent of each other. Number one, that is word fluency. Second, verbal comprehension. Third, spatial ability. Fourth, perceptual speed. Fifth, numerical ability. Sixth, inductive reasoning. And seventh, memory. The next one is Sternberg has given theory of intelligence. Robert Sternberg, that is triarchic theory of intelligence. As the same name suggests, that there are three forms of intelligence, namely componential, experiential, and contextual. Now, next theory is given by Gardner, a very, very important one. Gardner, the theory of intelligence, that is refuted the classic view of intelligence as a capacity for logical reasoning. He proposed that there is no one form of intelligence, but a number of intelligence work together. According to him, intelligence is the ability to solve problems or fashion products that are of consequence in particular culture setting or community. Initially, he proposed 7 distinct types of intelligence, namely linguistic. First one is linguistic, second one musical, third logical, mathematical, fourth spatial, fifth bodily kinesthetic, sixth intrapersonal, and then seventh interpersonal. Later he added another type of intelligence, that is naturalist. It refers to being sensitive to different features of nature. The individual who are highly naturalists have compassion for nature. Each individual has a unique combination of these 7 or 8 types of intelligence, which explains the individual difference. Now, Gardner and his colleagues proposed that the typical paper pencil tests for intelligence do not measure many aspects of intelligence, such as interpersonal ability. Many students perform poorly on the intelligence test but become great leaders because of their refined interpersonal qualities. Now let's understand about the IQ. Before that, let's understand about assessment of intelligence, and then we will understand about IQ. Now, what is assessment of intelligence here? It refers to the measurement of an individual's cognitive abilities, including their capacity for learning, problem solving, reasoning, and decision making. Now, assessment in psychology refers to the systematic process of gathering, evaluating, and interpreting information about an individual's thoughts, behaviors, emotions, and cognitive abilities. Now, psychological assessments are used for various purposes, including understanding an individual's psychological functioning, diagnosing mental health conditions, making treatment recommendations, and measuring specific psychological traits or abilities. Now, what is psychological assessment here? It refers to the use of specific procedures for evaluating personal qualities, behaviors, and abilities of individuals. Now, these procedures describe people by specifying how they are different from or similar to other individuals. Such assessments are frequently done by most of us when we make judgments such as nice, good, bad, attractive, ugly, genius, and idiot, etc. Now, such judgments can be erroneous many times. Now, in psychology, the term intelligence has been defined in many ways, one of the other earliest. So, Gardner defined intelligence as the ability or skill to solve problems or to fashion products which are valued within one or more cultural settings. Now, the term intelligent quotient, that is IQ, was first devised by William Stern, a German psychologist, in 1912. Now, IQ is defined as mental age divided by chronological age and multiplied by 100. That is, IQ is equal to MA upon CA multiplied by 100. Now, for example, if the mental age of a child is 12 and his or her chronological age is 12, then the IQ of the child would be 150. So, the intelligence test developed by Binet was revised subsequently, and in 1916 the test was given the name of Stanford Binet test of intelligence. One of the most popular and widely used tests of intelligence is Wechsler's scales of intelligence. These scales have been designed for individuals of different age groups, such as Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale, that is WAIS for adults, and Wechsler's Intelligence Scale for children, that is WISC for children between the age of 6 and 16 years. Now, intelligence tests are of two kinds, that is individual tests and group tests. Now, let's understand about EQ, that is emotional quotient, the ability to perceive. Now, what is this EQ? Emotional quotient or emotional intelligence is the ability to perceive, control, and manage one's emotions effectively and appropriately in different situations. That is, it involves having a stable mindset and a positive outlook on the world, exhibiting good behavior and social etiquette, and uh, emotionally component individuals who emphasize with others and can live harmoniously in the society. Now, we understood about EQ. Now, EQ, that is emotional quotient, is instrumental in supporting and promoting a person's IQ, that is intelligent quotient for success in life. EQ enables us to deal with problems and obstacles mindfully, creating awareness of their and others' emotions and helping control, care for, and manage them more effectively. So here, regarding definitions of IQ, that is, IQ is derived as a score from one of the tests that are standardized and designed to be able to assess intelligence. Now, EQ, also known as emotional intelligence, this is about the ability to be able to assess identity and control the emotions of the self of others. Now, what are the abilities here? That is, information is learned, understood, and applied to skills, logical reasoning, word comprehension, math skills, abstract and spatial thinking. Irrelevant information is being filtered out under IQ. Now, EQ, emotional meaning that is understood, meaning are understood and used to facilitate thinking. Own emotions are identified, evaluated, controlled, and expressed. Emotions of others are also perceived and assessed. Now, IQ, that is ability to think. EQ, ability to feel. IQ gets through school and EQ gets throughout the life. IQ not possible to rise IQ level, but EQ it can be raised. Now, IQ cannot be earned, EQ can be learned. IQ, that is high concentration, intense focus, hyperactivity, better comprehension, analytical skills, multi talented, and then excellent memory. Now, what are under EQ? That is self awareness, self regulation. They will be motivated, they feel empathy, and they will have social skills. Now, what are the differences here between EQ and IQ? That is, emotional quotient or EQ is defined as a person's ability to empathize. That means understanding others. It is the capability of individuals to understand his or her emotions along with the other person's emotions. Whereas IQ, that is intelligence quotient, indicates a person's intelligence level and used to determine academic abilities. While people with high IQ are good at logical reasoning, they get success with challenging tasks, ability to analyze and connect the research and development. Now, let's understand the last topic of this, that is creativity. Now, what is creativity? Creative thinking is characterized by sensitivity to problems, fluency and flexibility of thinking, originality, ability to analyze and synthesize, and the ability to redefine things. Now, what Guilford said here, creativity means forming new combinations of associative elements, and according to Mednick, creative thinking involves new forms of thinking away from the traditional norms. Now, creativity can be inspiration, vision, idea, brainstorm, mind, imagination, innovation, motivation, and knowledge. Now, creativity refers to the capacity to come up with something new and innovative that has value to yourself or others. Now, what is the overview of this creativity? It contains two core elements, that is generativity. That means creativity must lead to something that is different, new, and innovative. That is given by Kaufman. Now, what is the value here? Creativity must be useful and relevant. This could be the creation of something of practical usability or something of personal or social value. Now, what are the examples here? Constant monitoring. This refers to the act of continuously observing and scrutinizing every aspect of an employee's work. Now, excessive interference, that is, this is the excessive and unnecessary involvement of modeling in an employee's tasks and decision making process. These are the examples. Now, creativity can be analytical, open minded, problem solving, organization, and communication. Through this, a person can be judged whether they have creativity or they have creativity or not. Now, creativity, what are the tips for boosting creativity? Carve out time for creative projects consistently. Seek inspiration from new sites and experiences. Use flowcharts and mind maps for new ideas. Ask what if questions to the students to consider other scenarios. Take risk or do something outside of your comfort zone. Remember that mistakes are okay and often necessary. Now, what is the role of the teacher to foster creativity? Give them freedom to respond, encourage originality and flexibility, removal of hesitation and fear, using the creative resources of the community, proper organization of the curriculum, reform in evaluation system, use of special techniques like brainstorming, lateral thinking, synetics. So this is all about this topic, today's topic, that is individual differences. I'll come up with the next topic in the next class. Until then, happy learning. Thanks for your attention and time.